Touchdown Vikings.
Hello, everybody. Hi, welcome to the TechRaptor podcast. I'm Robert Scarpadino, your features editor.
Andrew Otton, editor-in-chief.
Andrew Stretch, the confused editor.
Confused editor. We're here. We're coming at you live from Abstergo because we're talking all about
Not me.
Assassin's Creed today.
I'm in hiding from them.
You're in hiding.
We put you in like the supplies cupboard at Abstergo. That's the only place that they had a desk for you.
Yeah, fair enough. That's where I'd want it out of the way. I don't want to be like have attention there. You know what I mean?
Fair.
Seems like a bad place to be like, hey, you're the guy. I don't want to be the guy.
Is this Ubisoft or Abstergo?
What's the difference?
I didn't say woman. Hey, got him.
So this week we're kind of gearing up for Assassin's Creed Mirage comes out pretty soon from the day that this podcast goes live. It comes out this Thursday. So we thought this would be a good time to kind of give a little, eagle eye overview of all things Assassin's Creed,
So an eagle vision.
Yes. From above. But before we do, well, for one, if you do enjoy our show, we would appreciate a review. Subscribe if you haven't already. But we're going to kind of jump in and kick things off with a quiz. A little quiz about Assassin's Creed. And we're calling this Who's That Assassin? Because we've had 16
Pokemon took
years.
a really dark turn.
Kind of, right? We've had 16 years of Assassin's Creed games, right? And, well, there's been a lot of assassins and characters. So what we're going to do is go through this little quiz and see how much you guys remember of Assassin's Creed characters. You ready?
This is going to be bad.
This is going to go poorly.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll start off with
their first name.
Hey, I know that guy.
Yeah,
that's Robert.
Yeah, we'll start.
Robert Gilman.
That's Desmond in cosplay as an assassin.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, and if you're not watching this on YouTube, so there are pictures. I will read out the questions. If you're on audio, you'll get this. But for the first one, who is this assassin?
It's going to be Ezio, who's arguably took over as main character when they killed off Desmond for some reason.
Yeah,
there's Ezio.
Yeah, that's Ezio.
We're not kicking off with
now
the
for bonus points.
Assassins, man. Anyway, what?
Do you remember who the original assassin is?
I do.
Altair.
Yep, Altair.
There you go.
Because I remember playing him in the PSP game.
That's right. You didn't play the original game.
Yeah. For bonus points, where is Ezio from?
Firenze.
What city?
Yeah, Florence.
Florence. Yeah. Florence, Italy. Yeah. We're starting off easy. Starting off pretty easy, right? Okay. Next question.
Oh, fuck.
Okay. This character starred in which Assassin's Creed game? It's a nice glossy JPEG of a character. From which game?
Oh, okay. I never played it, but he looks like ye oldie kind of, but also swashbuckly.
Oh,
this is going to be from Rogue, the
no,
last gen. When they released the last gen pirate game at the same time that they released the next gen pirate game.
Yeah,
I reckon this is from Rogue.
Is he Rogue?
Nope, it's not from Rogue.
I didn't think so. Rogue is
Damn it.
Yeah. I don't know. What's the name of the Syndicate? Is he from that one?
Syndicate is the UK one.
I know it's the UK one.
Yeah, that's with the twins.
I just threw out a guess. I have no idea.
This is the one from Assassin's Creed Unity.
Oh shit!
I could have put the
French.
picture of like the glitched face with the eyeballs, right? That
We
probably
should
would
have
have been
known.
more.
We should have known. Look at his nose.
Yeah, we're so not used to seeing his facial features.
Yeah, that's right. I've never seen his face. I know his eyeballs.
Now that you can't really even see his face here, honestly, right?
No.
But then for bonus points, what's his name?
Mr. Assassin.
Jean-Pierre.
Yeah, there you go. Something
Yep.
like Arno Victor Dorian.
Arno
yeah.
Victor
Okay.
Dorian. Yep. Okay.
Good old
old
AVD.
Arno.
Yep. All right.
I know
Next,
this
who is the
one.
protagonist of Assassin's Creed 3?
This is Connor. I know that one.
Yep.
Is this? Are you asking? Oh, never mind.
Well, for bonus points,
Are you
what's his
asking
Mohawk
for the-
name? Is that what you were asking? Like, Stretch, you were thinking, like, is it which of his names?
No, I was gonna say, is this gonna be a trick question that the protagonist of 3 was still Ezio because like that was the third one released, and then because 3 is the 5th game. But no,
I was
no
one
thinking 2D.
canonically named Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah, not Brotherhood. Okay, pal.
Little Bear.
I have no idea.
Little Bear.
I cannot remember.
Yeah, me neither. It's Ratonaketon, I think is how you say that.
Oh. Yeah, how the fuck was I gonna know that?
Ratonaketon. Yeah.
I probably forgot that as I played it, and I'm like, I would just kind of see the vague shape of that word, like, oh, that's him.
Yep. I mean, they do say it like a few times. Yeah. That's really it throughout the game. All right. Who was the protagonist
No
in
idea.
Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry?
Right. Is it gonna be? I wonder if it's gonna be a. It's gonna be like a play on John Brown or something. I don't know.
Well, I can tell this is the character that was friends with the character from Liberation, the PS Vita game, that then they got their own port. So you're already at like side character of side character of side
Yeah,
character
This one.
when you get to Freedom Cry.
Mm-hmm. No guesses.
I want
John Brown.
Her name is Adewale.
Adewale. Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then for bonus points, what other game did he appear in? Well, there are 2 other games.
2?
There's any one of them.
Does he?
Well,
does
he appears in Liberty.
Does he show up in Rogue?
You are right. Yeah, he showed up in Black Flag and Rogue.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then I don't think that I knew who he was at all.
No.
Nope.
Who is this?
Yeah, Liberation's a totally. Yeah, who is this?
I thought this was about assassins. Oh wait, she's an assassin. She's a
technically-
modern day assassin.
She's technically an assassin.
Her name is
I think her name's Lucy.
Liza.
Hey. Oh no, Stretch got it. Lucy. Lucy
Hey.
Stillman.
Yeah.
Hey. For bonus, who voices her? Which actress voices her?
I mean, if we're gonna guess one of the big ones, I mean, Jennifer Hale, sure, why not?
I'll go Laura Bailey.
Kristen Bell.
Looks like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's modeled after her too and everything. All right, we've got 4 more left. Who was a protagonist of Assassin's Creed Origins?
I never did play this one. This one's I skipped for some reason. Didn't get around to it. It's too bad because the hair's cool.
15 hours into this one.
You should know.
So you remember his name for sure, right?
Oh yeah, I think to what Otton was saying earlier about the idea of just like recognizing a shape and just like never committing it to memory, because I know that I do the same thing when I watch anime. Like I'll watch 100 episodes of an anime and someone will say, what's that character's name? And I say, I got no fucking clue.
I could tell you what he did.
Yeah, I can tell you what powers he has.
This guy rides a camel.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. His name is Bayek of Siwa.
Oh damn.
Yeah, Bayek.
Yeah,
And then
I knew that.
for bonus points that I'm gonna guess you won't get, what's the name of his what's the name of his eagle?
Eagly.
I forgot that they did a Peacemaker crossover. You're so correct.
That's right. John Cena voices the eagle. Even.
Hey, honestly, you're pretty
Modeled
close.
after him and everything.
Yeah. You're not far off.
Is his name like
is
Eagle?
Senu.
Is Senu like Egyptian for eagle? Some ancient
I'm
Egyptian
guessing
word.
maybe.
No,
Maybe. Yeah. Okay, and then who was the protagonist of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag?
Fuck, the one that everybody's like, this is my favorite. Nobody's gonna remember his fucking name though. Oh,
I mean, he's a Conway.
yeah. Who knows?
Edward
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Edward
Yeah.
James Kenway.
Edward
Kenway.
Kenway. Mm-hmm. And then for bonus points, who is his grandson?
Isn't that
I mean,
isn't
there's
that weirdly
Connor.
Connor? Isn't Connor his
But-
grandson?
Mm-hmm. There you go. Yeah.
Because
His
the
grandson's
guy you're
Connor.
fighting
His
is
son.
Kenway. In Assassin's Creed 3, that's the main antagonist is Kenway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Who is this assassin?
She's the one from Rogue.
No, that's Liberation.
Shit.
So
'Cause
Stretch
they
got the
made a
bonus
big deal-
question.
They made
I
a
don't know her
big deal
name.
about having there be a female protagonist, and it's
That's
like, yeah,
right.
but you
I
put that
thought it
on
was Rogue,
PS
though.
Vita.
Yeah, exactly. The one where it went to die.
Yeah.
I don't know her name.
Nothing.
Griselda.
Yep.
Evelyn.
Aveline de Grand Pré.
Okay.
Aveline.
You could be making all
Mhm.
this up,
And-
and I would be like,
We're
all right.
sitting in New Orleans. Lots of swamp puppies you got to kick around.
Oh.
Yeah. That's like the beautiful thing about this game is that I could genuinely be making up half of this.
I'd
It
be like,
could be
that's true.
whatever. Yep. But yeah, Stretch already knew from Assassin's Creed 3
Liberation, that's
Liberation. Yeah.
What? Rogue is the one.
All right, and this is
anyway.
Rogue. I don't remember the
Any
name
of
of the
these
person.
characters?
Okay, so this on the screen is the it's the cover of Assassin's Creed Chronicles. There are
You
3
like-
Assassin's Creed Chronicle games.
Plays all 3 of these people?
It's 3 different games. 'Cause
No,
it's an
so there are 3
Assassin's
separate games.
I don't
Creed
fucking know.
Chronicles China and an Assassin's Creed Chronicle wherever else.
Yeah.
I bet the bonus question is name where they're from.
No, this one honestly, I have no bonus question because it's like if you can get one of them, if you could name any of those characters.
I've actually played a bit of Chronicles
I don't know.
China specifically because it was on Game Pass, and I was like, "Oh, check this out."
I
That's
mean,
Assassin's Creed in a 2.5D format. It's just not Assassin's
I
Creed.
couldn't guess without it being racist, so I'm not gonna guess. Well, I mean, you're looking at what they look like. You're like, oh, I'm gonna make this stereotypical name of this
Right.
thing. I'm not doing
Right.
that. I'm not falling for the trap.
Okay, and then an alternate. Can you name all 3 what countries they're from? Stretch, you got 1. You got China.
I knew China. I knew that one too, but I
Yeah,
couldn't.
it likely. Professor Otton's copying my work.
Trying to remember China.
Is one of them Russia?
One of them's Russia. So then what about the third?
Russia. Yeah, that guy on the left. Where the fuck are you from, buddy? I mean, he's dressed in a very similar to like an Altair kind of guy. So is he from a Middle Eastern country somewhere, or is he
Not
like,
quite. I think it's
Turkey?
Mumbai, right?
Oh, he's Indian.
Thought it was. Yep, I think so. I honestly, this is one I don't 100% remember for sure because I didn't. I looked at the names of the different countries and I was like, well, I'm not going to commit that to memory. But their character names are Xiaojun, Arbazmir, and Nikolai Andreevich Orlov.
Oh, I should have guessed Nikolai.
That would have been my second guess.
Yep.
Damn,
Mhm.
so close.
But thank you for joining me on this Assassin's Creed questions quiz thing about seeing how much you remember, if at all.
Why didn't you ask the
of-
ones that
of
we knew?
Assassin's Creed.
Cassandra.
Like-
I know that one.
Well, because Cassandra's easy, obvious, right?
Eivor,
and
I know that
Ezio.
one.
I kicked it off with Ezio. You know, I mean,
It's true.
we all know
You didn't
Ezio.
ask about the OG. Could you?
Yeah, Altair.
Yeah, you didn't ask about them.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't ask
think
where you should have
Assassin's-
asked where these were set too. Where are these at?
I think Assassin's Creed falls into the opposite problem that I have with Kingdom Hearts. Like in Kingdom Hearts, the joke is that every single story is important, everything is canon. There's no such thing as a side game. You need to do this stuff. With the way that Assassin's Creed always hops around, I feel like I have no clue what the canon is. Like,
yeah.
It feels like you're having to like rebuild someone's. The benefit of making a sequel is that you've got people already bought into characters, into the story, into the world. But with Assassin's Creed, they always restart from scratch. It's so easy to just say, "Oh, I'm not going to get this one."
Yeah.
Because like it just what is coherent and connected through them is it's the amount of time spent on like a C plot in a regular game.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've always felt Assassin's Creed would benefit from just shedding all of the Abstergo garbage, because like the pitch of you go like we're gonna fully build a historic city and you get to play as a parkour jumping assassin character that unravels a conspiracy in the city. Like that's all you really need to get off the ground with this game.
Mm-hmm.
And they decided to add like, and then it's like Freemasons kind of shit going on here, and it goes all the way to the modern day, and you're playing a character in the modern day that's trying to unravel the mysteries of the past to figure out the future. And it's like, no, you don't need all this.
No, I think we only say that with the benefit of like seeing how it played out, because like when it first was out, like that was a really cool idea. Like when Assassin's Creed the first couple came out, like, oh, what is going on? This is fucking weird. Because then you're like in the first one, it ends with him like finding that room with all this like fucking crazy writing, and you're like, what the fuck? And then it's like, I don't know what the hell's going on. So it was pretty intriguing, and then it just they did not handle it very well after that. Just not as interesting as the premise they made at all.
I think agreed. Like, I guess I started with Assassin's Creed 2, where I imagine a lot of people may have started with, because I mean it's Ezio, right?
Yeah.
But they made 3 Ezio games, or yeah, because it was 2.
Oh yeah,
Brotherhood, Revelations, right? Just like the Bible.
But the Bible doesn't have the S. That's why they're wrong.
Fair.
It's the Book of Revelation.
But so they had those 3, and I just could not give like a single solitary shit about all the stuff happening with Desmond and the people in the real world. Definitely was more invested in Ezio and his time in Italy.
That's what I'm saying, is that the premise was better than the execution. So I don't think we're necessarily disagreeing. I think that could have been a cool thing, but it just didn't.
I think they
come out.
They would have needed to, like, they are like dipping a baby toe into the water of the future sci-fi stuff.
Yeah.
They should have jumped in the pool.
Yeah. Well, because I don't remember which Assassin's Creed 2 or 3 game it was, but there's a point where you play as Desmond, and because like the whole idea was he's like, it's a training, like all of playing as Ezio and Connor is like a training montage, right? Because it's supposed to be like Desmond getting the assassin's power in his blood by reliving those memories, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a point where you're playing as Desmond in the real world and parkouring around, and I think you have a hidden blade at some point, and it's like, okay, I see where it's all coming together, except like any motherfucker pulls out a gun and it's kind of over,
I don't know, but you're supposed to be sneaky.
Sure, I guess. I don't know. It just, to me, it kind of falls apart at the modern day stuff. I don't know. It doesn't fit for me.
I think at that point they just have assassin's robes that were Kevlar. Like,
figure that out, dude. They're smart.
The assassins can upgrade their shit too, and then also if they have some weird Apple of Eden orb that can like mind control people or something, that's probably going to be great in a fist fight too.
Yeah, and you can throw it.
It's just really hard. Ancient item of immeasurable power, and I'm going to just fucking wing it at your head.
Who's to say that the assassins don't have guns in the future too?
That's true.
Well, I mean, we know that assassins in the past had guns.
That's true,
because we've played those video games.
They could have like crazy mechanized or super cool inventy ones, because like the hidden blade's like a pretty cool machine
Mm.
for its day. So they could have some wild ass gun.
True.
Have one of those that shoots out of your sleeve and then around the corner has a little arm.
It's just wanted.
Yeah.
Bam, yeah.
That's it.
They're not bending bullets. I'm saying there's a little arm that shoots out and bends. Bam.
Yeah, like the barrel itself is
like
a 90
your
degree.
Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
There was a gun like that in Wanted.
Oh, was that did that? Oh, okay. I just remember the bending bullets bullshit from that movie.
Mm.
It was great. What a great movie.
Such a
Yeah,
stupid movie.
they could totally. Yeah, they could probably upgrade it because I remember there was the one that was set in Constantinople, right?
Yeah.
The
It's
Revelations, where the blade was a hook blade,
Yeah.
right? Where they he like used it as like a way to like slide down ropes. It's
Yeah.
just like there's no way that thing is load bearing. That could not support a whole
It's
ass
made
human.
of titanium. It's made of the same material as the iPhone 15 Pro Max.
They saw BioShock Infinite and thought, we can do something with this. We can make this work.
Yeah. But so I guess to kind of start from the beginning, right? So Assassin's Creed 1 with Altair came out November of 2007. It's been about 16 years of Assassin's Creeding, which it's a franchise that doesn't feel that old, but it actually is.
It's been around.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a pillar now of the industry because I mean everyone knows what Ubisoft open world checklist means, right? But Assassin's Creed was the formula for it. Was the blueprint for what that became eventually. Like climbing the towers is literally what you would do, even to this day, actually, kind of with modern day Assassin's Creed games.
Not even in other games, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Assassin's Creed still has the coolest wave, the leap of faith off of it. Still one of the coolest things afterwards.
Yeah,
like
I mean, you definitely die, but
shut up.
Yeah.
This is a video game.
I can tell you with 100% certainty that in the new upcoming Assassin's Creed Mirage, yes, leap of faiths are still in it, and yes, you still have to climb your way to the top of a building and hit a button to have the eagle call, and you get the cool
panoramic shot,
the panoramic view.
Yeah, beautiful.
Well, yeah, because Mirage is kind of it's all full circle, right? Because 10 years, 10 years after the first game, they released Assassin's Creed Origins, 2017, right? And that's where they were like, let's break the formula, like let's really change how the pace of the open world, right? And now Mirage is like, okay, we're reinventing the wheel, going back to what the original Assassin's Creed games were like. Yeah. There's been a lot of like evolution. Yeah.
There's been people wanting for this after, but I think part of it is that like Origins, from what I understand, I haven't played it. It was open world, but it wasn't huge. And then Odyssey's like, oh yeah, you want to be your whole life now. Like there's no other game that you can play because it's this big. And then whatever the fucking Viking one was called, I can't even remember the name. Valhalla comes out. And it's also like, hey, this is also really big and it's gonna take you forever. Like I think it was a reaction more to that than necessarily the RPG stuff. I think it was more like, man, this is too long.
Yeah.
Where Mirage, they've said, is a much smaller scale game, which thank fucking God. Because it was just so much bloat before.
Yeah.
Like, that's really what was the problem.
I think the RPG also added to the bloat too, because I remember one of the big marketing points was like, oh yeah, now the Hidden Blade actually is a one-hit kill in Mirage, because back in Odyssey, like that, like your assassination attack, it was just like a really strong attack. It wasn't like a one-hit kill, which definitely didn't.
I mean, that was part of the dude. There's so much stuff that was so cool from the original, like the double assassination. As you're just shooting out the side, you're like, this is fucking rad. Like, let's do that shit again. That's awesome. I hope they have
Mirage. Mirage now has the cinematic assassinations as well. That if you've got like 3 people in a row in front of you, you can kind of line it up and then like execute, and then you'll like drop in and like quick assassinate move between them.
That's exactly that's what this game
like
should be. That kind of shit. That stuff is the best.
Yeah,
make it more cinematic, less gamey.
Yeah, I mean, or just like it was just seeing your dude do cool shit. You're like, oh fuck, I just jumped from like 3 stories high and stabbed this dude in the fucking head, and then I ran off. I'm out of here. Like, I'm out. Like it was that kind of stuff. Not to say I didn't enjoy Odyssey and stuff. It was an interesting thing, but it definitely felt like, is this Assassin's Creed really? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it felt
At
like
that point?
Assassin's Creed in like name only. You know, like
Yeah.
they only had the name of it, which I mean, it does have a lot of like power, like star power, right? People recognize the
Absolutely.
name. Like even outside of gaming, I think people kind of know what Assassin's Creed is.
Everybody
Um,
saw the movie with Michael Fassbender. Of
course.
course they know.
The greatest video game movie of all time.
It's sitting right there on the DVD shelf next to Prince of Persia with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But for me, I think what I originally gravitated to with Assassin's Creed is, you know, I grew up in a big city, so I like big cities in games, you know, like Grand Theft Auto and, you know, Spider-Man, right? Where they're like these really cool recreations of, you know, like GTA 4 is basically New York, but not because, you know, it's Liberty City or whatever. But Assassin's Creed was one where I remember that's like, it's not just a big city, but it's like a historic, like in the past. And I thought that was really neat.
It is.
More than anything, I just wanted to explore and run across the rooftops of Venice or of Florence or wherever, right? Where it's like that felt really cool to do. Like just from like an intrinsic satisfaction level, right?
And it always does. Like whenever you're like, "Ooh, I'm in the cool new place." Like, 2 is I think where everybody's like, "Oh shit!" It's where it's the first time you really see it. That was really cool. But 3, when you could go around, 3 was Rome, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, or like like 2 Brotherhood.
Oh, that's what I meant, Brotherhood, because that's with the Borgias and stuff.
See, my clarification question wasn't stupid.
Brotherhood, but seeing that kind of stuff was neat. Like especially for back then, like that those games, like 3. I mean, Brotherhood came out what, like 2011,
10 maybe, or 11,
maybe something like that. And so we're talking. This is God. What were other kind of open world games around then? I can't even think. In 20, because Witcher 3 was 2015, so this is 4 years before that. GTA 4 is probably it, right?
It was 2008 for GTA 4.
2008.
Because I say
Saints
like,
Row.
Definitely around the time of Skyrim, all of the conversations were always.
That's right. This would have been Skyrim time.
How big can you get a map? Like how? Look at how big this world is.
That's right. People were talking about like Just Cause 2 because it was a big map and stuff like that. That's right. That's a great open world game.
Assassin's Creed and LA Noire at the same time were doing. Our maps are really cool because they are so historically accurate.
Yeah,
that's what was neat. And like to jump ahead, so either of you messed around with the Discovery stuff at all?
A little with in Odyssey.
It's actually really cool. Like a really cool educational thing to like just learn about cool shit that they did spend a lot of time recreating, and it's like they try to be as accurate as possible with certain locations or whatever, because there's certain things like in Odyssey there's that statue of Zeus. We had no idea what it looks like. It's kind of been described, and it was like stolen, and like so nobody knows anything about it. So they did as much as they could based on what people understood it to be to recreate it, and they talk about its importance and stuff like that. It's like cool shit like that. As a history nerd, it's like it's a cool thing to see that they actually like leaned into that stuff, and like you could learn some neat things running around. And I know like there's been a few outlets that have done like pretty interesting interviews, like professors of people that are like subject matter experts on whatever, and like walking them through, and they're like, holy shit, seeing stuff and talking through it. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, I mean, even pre-Discovery Tour, I mean, what I've always felt was so tragic about Assassin's Creed Unity is, you know, it got bogged down by all the glitches and stuff, but it's the
cool setting.
It's a cool setting. Like, I mean, come on, fucking like Paris during the French Revolution is a cool setting.
Which one?
You know, like the first. I know the 1789 one, right? Like the one, right? The capital T, the French Revolution. But they had the fucking Notre Dame, right? And like they released little videos about how in depth they went into like how they rebuilt the cathedral in the game, to the point where when Notre Dame was on fire, they used the shit from the game to kind of help reconstruct the real fucking cathedral, and that's really cool, neat. You know,
like that. And wanted to bring it to Mirage. This is set in the Ring City in Afghanistan, right?
in Baghdad.
Baghdad.
Yeah, in Baghdad. Like that, we just have drawings of, because I started when we were first learning about it, I was like, ooh, what does this look like? Like, we don't have obviously there's descriptions of it and stuff, but this is probably like the first full big model of this city ever made.
Mhm.
So I imagine like people that are like study this, like are like, oh, this is actually a very interesting thing to look at and like potentially use for whatever historical stuff or whatever they're doing. That kind of shit's really cool that they do that.
Yeah.
What is kind of a bummer that seems to have, I mean, it's still, well, I guess that they don't feel, as the series has gone on, like nobody has felt like as integral to the story, like as a historical character, as someone like Da Vinci. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was so great in those, where like you get something like Socrates was like, he was in it and was funny and stuff, but he was just kind of like another side guy that was around. I don't know. That part kind of sucks. The interaction with stuff seems to have become to a lesser degree. They're still there,
Yeah.
but like you were doing shit with Da Vinci and stuff all the time,
Mhm.
which is really cool.
Like, I remember there was a side quest with Hippocrates, right? Where you basically just like help gather some herbs so we can heal someone, and it's like, oh, I mean, come on. It's kinda
Yeah,
boring.
so there's some stuff that's like, yeah, but I think also it's like, you know, someone like Da Vinci just lends itself to cool shit because he like it is an inventor, so they could just go kind of wild with some diagram he drew at some point,
Yeah.
like, and just have fun with that. Like, he's the perfect like historical figure for a game. You know what I mean?
Kinda,
Like,
yeah.
he could just
Tesla
invent
show up at
anything.
all?
Does what?
Tesla?
Are any games set around when he's alive?
I
The
don't
closest
know.
has got to be Syndicate, right? Because that's Victorian era UK, but that's not Tesla area.
Yeah.
Because Tesla's fuck, where's he's from? Why am I spacing it? Isn't he Turkish? Tesla?
Is he?
Oh, look.
Apparently, Tesla was in
Oh, he was.
like extra notes and comics for Assassin's Creed. There's a database image of Tesla in Assassin's Creed Chronicles Russia.
Of course. How could we
Okay.
forget Assassin's Creed Chronicles Russia?
Tesla's Croatian, in case anybody cared.
And then there was also a 2-part book called Assassin's Creed Conspiracies.
Oh yeah, that's a whole wild world video game novel adaptations and like set.
Yo, this sounds
games.
awesome. Conspiracies are set during World War II, featuring the race for the atomic bomb following Eddie Gorm, a British assassin.
Well, so this is just Assassin's Creed Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
That is a great setting. That would be a tough one to do for a game, because where would you set it?
Los Alamos.
Other than like, I guess, London.
Yeah.
Moscow. Do a Moscow set Cold War game.
That'd be kind of wild.
Fucking rad, dude. You're like interacting with the KGB and shit. That'd be cool. No way they're making it right now, but
See, I think we're kind of Assassin's Creed. It kind of, to me, that's where it falls apart. It seems the closer you get to the modern day, the less interesting I think the game can become. Because I think one of the this is a disconnect I felt between like the original games and then like the Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla. Right, is that those cities are just big enough where you don't need a car, you don't need a horse. Right, they give you a horse in Brotherhood, I think, if I remember right. But for the most part, it's more fun, and it's just more entertaining, right? To just parkour across the roofs to get to where you want to go.
Absolutely.
And there's no city that was so big where you were like, God damn, all the way over there, lame, right? But with Odyssey, dude, fast travel all the way, ships, horses. Like, you don't want to run, you don't want to parkour in those games, and that it kind of just defeats the purpose. Like, I don't remember a single bit of running around Athens in Odyssey, which that should be cool, right?
I mean, Athens is pretty cool.
I don't know. To me, it didn't make as much of an impact as like running around in Florence or in like.
No, but I think like, Florence.
But it's also, those earlier Assassin's Creed games also took like the multiple zones approach.
Yeah.
Versus the idea of like a big open map.
Yeah. Well, wasn't the second one was all set in Florence, right?
They had multiple cities. If I remember
two had
right.
a couple.
Oh, that's right. You could travel. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Never mind. But yeah, they were like, but they were, as you're saying, a little more condensed in terms of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But like, I think part of what maybe with something like Athens is we're used to it by that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it was kind of novel before. Because I was about to say, I was like, oh, it doesn't have any like that's that iconic one thing, but it's got like the Parthenon and stuff. Like it does have like, oh, there's that cool fucking building thing or whatever. But it's like it's not like, hey, that's the fucking Coliseum over there. Like, oh shit, like you're gonna remember running around the Coliseum or whatever.
Right.
I think that might be part of it. The terms of iconic stuff. Like the Parthenon is a known thing, but like it's a building style we've seen so long forever. Like I guess it doesn't necessarily stand out as much kind of stuff. I think that's part of what it is. Because I'm running around. I like to run around Athens. I thought that was pretty cool. That was pretty neat. And I like how the difference with Sparta and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it didn't stand out to me in a way where like there are a lot of other smaller towns and settlements around all those islands where I was like, it all kind of blurs together to me.
Yeah.
Compared to just like the focus on the big city, like Constantinople was pretty fucking cool to go around in Revelations. Yeah. So that's what I'm hoping with Mirage. We get that same like
that way.
This is a cool like running around Baghdad kind of energy.
Yeah, that's what I'm more excited about with that, for sure. Because I agree with you. I think that's one of the things that was missing, like just being able to like, I'm in this big city. We're just running around learning stuff about whatever. Because I'm thinking, I guess the one that for some reason that just sticks in my head more that I must have just, I think it's probably because I was studying the Borgias at the same time I was playing Brotherhood, and that's the main bad guy. And they actually didn't make them as evil as they really were. Because I was reading about actual Cesare Borgia, and I'm like, holy shit, he's way fucking worse in real life than the game. He is so fucking evil. Anyway, so that one really sticks. But running around Rome and doing stuff there, it's just so neat. And like you're fucking with the Pope and stuff, and like it's just cool. I don't know, that kind of stuff is so neat. Where what is both cool and a bit of a shame about Mirage is that because of where it's set, it's not a European history thing. So people will be like, I don't know any of these things. So like the excitement of like, hey, that guy that I fucking know is less. I mean, I'm sure they probably shoehorn somebody in there that someone might know, but like the idea of I know, hey, it's that historical figure that I had learned about growing up because I am a Western white man in Europe. Less to happen, but personally, I'm like, oh shit, I get to learn about shit I don't know about, like cool historical stuff or like names that I don't necessarily have never heard before. That's exciting to me. I'm really looking forward to that with Mirage. I'm definitely way more into Mirage.
You need to have it so that it's got that like glossary feature that Final Fantasy 16 had. And you just be like, a character
read about that guy.
Yeah, a character moves into a room and says, hi, I'm, says their name and then like pauses as if waiting for applause. And you're like, oh, that's someone important. I don't know who the fuck that is, but that's someone important.
That would be such a great feature for that, especially because they know that this is going to be a historical area and figures that the most people aren't going to be familiar with that are playing this game. But that's part of why I'm so interested.
Yeah. And it's definitely a different approach than the first Assassin's Creed, where I remember like from seeing that game, it's like, yeah, we're in the Middle East, but everyone is white. kind of energy, like voices of it. Like Altair was like super Well,
I'll say the main like assassin master guy wasn't that way.
Yeah. The guy with the beard.
Yeah, the guy that you like fight at the end.
Yeah. Well, spoilers. Well, shit. For a 16-year-old game. Yeah, but this one, because if I remember right, didn't they have a trailer where they showed off there's like a full Arabic dub?
There is.
There? That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can play the whole thing.
Ooh, that's kind of
cool, right? Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Curious, might have to try that.
Yeah. So I'm hoping it's a cool way to play it.
I did give it a bit of a try. and it was really good until I was like free running and also needed to be reading subtitles.
That's what I was just had
for
that thought as you
conversation that
started to say
happens
that. I
as
was
we're
like,
moving.
oh, all that incidental shit happen around you, I'll just miss.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Can I have it cutscenes only, please? Cutscenes only option.
Yeah.
That'd
Well,
be a cool option.
in the Arabic dub, was it like the lip flaps were synced up with
Oh yeah, did they do
the voices,
that?
or was it like someone dubbing over the English lip flaps? You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be honest, I did not pay attention to where the lip flaps was synced.
Gotta be the. It's gotta be they're animating it to the English dub, right? Like, although I know that there's like this cool new tech that a lot of games are starting to use. That's why we're starting to see like better lip, like mouth movements that kind of match what they're saying. That
Yeah.
I think just kind of automatically does it. So they might be using that, so it might not be like perfect, but it might still mimic it enough.
Yeah, that's
So
what
I'd
I'm
be
wondering.
curious if it's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know it's a lot of work to be like, all right, and you're also going to do the facial animations for every language. Like, fuck. Like that
Especially
is a lot
like
of
if
work.
it's not your language, you'd have to
Yeah.
like how
Yeah.
does that like
That would be a
how
tough-
does the different
that's a tough
sound
task.
occur?
That's why having that automated stuff is so cool that we get that going, even though it's not perfect. But I
Right.
mean, most games the facial animations for speaking aren't very good. They suck unless you're a Naughty Dog game, like they're bad, more or less.
Mhm.
Those lifeless eyes looking at you as they're having some kind of deep revelatory conversation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I just like thinking about all we've been talking about so far. I guess I've never really sat down to think about, oh yeah, Assassin's Creed is kind of like pillar might be a strong word, but it's kind of a mainstay of the industry now at this point. You know, I mean, it's not like Mario, right? Mario is like legendary, but Assassin's Creed, like the day they ever stop making Assassin's Creed game, I think it's going to be kind of a weird day. Yeah, it's going to be like, oh,
well,
there's
like,
something different now.
You
in the
say
industry.
pillar, and like Ubisoft, nobody knows the Ubisoft name if not for Assassin's Creed. You know what I mean? Before that, Ubisoft was they made games, but Assassin's Creed's why they exist, and they're one of the biggest game companies out there now.
Yeah, well, I mean, they had like Prince of Persia.
Sure, but who's talking about Ubisoft?
That movie with Ryan with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. You know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like you said, the Ubisoft the game really started with Watch Dogs, but that whole thing. But Assassin's Creed was the big thing that's kind of holding up one of the biggest publishers in the world. So it's definitely a mainstay. I think so many people played it or know of it, like you're saying. Like even people that don't play games have probably heard of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
at some point.
No,
That's thanks to the Michael Fassbender movie, but
well, because I honestly genuinely think the history part of it it appeals to a wider audience.
Yes,
than you would think.
Like, hey,
right?
I can run around ancient Rome or whatever, or you want to go to Victorian London? Here you go.
Yep.
Yeah. Even though I never played it.
I think it just taps into like an audience that like is not just like the main gamer audience. You know what I mean?
The capital G gamers.
Like sitting in a boardroom trying to figure out what game to make. It's like, guys, what if we made a game for nerds, but not gaming nerds?
Yeah, actual nerds. yeah, the real nerds. The only real nerds left.
Get them book kids in.
Academics. Yeah. But that's like, so like, what's it? What do they call it? Assassin's Creed Red or whatever. Now that's the Japan one. Japanese history is super cool, and I'm guessing it's got to be set during the Shogunate, which that's the only thing that makes sense. If it's gonna be set during like the end of that with Oda and Nobunaga and stuff, where like all the fucking Japanese games are set during that time. But to be able to run around doing shit there and like an old time Tokyo shit, dude.
Yeah,
and that's cool. That's the one that's going to be back to RPG mechanics again, though, right?
I don't know.
No,
I don't know if they've really said anything about other than Japan, right?
I think so. Yeah, because I think the only other Assassin's Creed games that are on the horizon, there's Jade, which is like that mobile game, right, in China. Which honestly, after the iPhone 15 Pro reveal, I'm kind of like, oh, okay, that worked. I could see that really working for sure.
Yeah.
And then there's
that's the ideal way to play Resident Evil 4, by the way. It's on your iPhone.
Yeah,
for $60.
There's that Japan one. and there's that VR one. I don't remember
That's
the name
right.
of it,
There's
but that VR one.
And didn't they say they're also going to make like a? Isn't there some like
There's
not
gonna be
live
like a
servicey one, games as a servicey one where it just keeps going and building on
Oh,
itself like a
yeah.
universe?
Infinite or
That's-
something.
Yeah, something like that.
or
Infinite.
Infinity.
I don't know what that is, but
Yeah.
I'm curious. I don't know. That's,
And
that's
so there's going to be Infinity, and then from that we're going to get Codename Red, Codename Hex.
Oh, those
and
are all part of
Codename
Infinity.
Invictus.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What?
I don't understand. I don't understand what Infinity is in. Is it just a brand?
I think it's going to be. It's not like you go to your PlayStation 5, your Xbox, and you boot up Assassin's Creed Red.
You're boot up Infinity.
Assassin's Creed Infinity, and then from Infinity you launch Red.
So
What
it's
are
the
purpose of
metaverse.
that? Yeah, it's an Assassin's Creed metaverse.
Well, it's like it's an upgradable hub. It's kind of like
a
what they
weird
did
idea.
with
I wonder what
Halo.
I wonder if part of it is to keep you within the same marketplace.
Yeah,
And
are they just
and,
reverse
you know what I mean?
engineering the Ubisoft launcher? Like, is that?
It seems like it's like a launcher essentially, but I wonder if it's going to part of it to keep you in the same marketplace. If there's going to be some integration of things that you can like purchase and stuff like that.
I mean, this wiki article I'm looking at also says that it'll be a live service platform that incorporates multiplayer. So that would probably also allow them to never have to worry about remaking the multiplayer game if they can just like make sure that the new game and its like new maps whatever just like hooks into Infinity.
So Infinity is like Call of Duty map packs.
It's Fortnite.
I know what you're saying. Oh, it's Fortnite. Oh, okay.
It's Assassin's Creed Fortnite.
I'm an expert. Have you guys heard of Among Us, by the way? Pretty crazy game.
Hey, actually though, wasn't that Assassin's Creed the multiplayer in was it Brotherhood? That was kind of like Among Us, right?
I never played it. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you got. I mean, it was in terms of you could hide. Actually, no. It's very. No.
He rejects it completely now. He just.
You thought about it for like 2 more seconds. Like, nope.
Yeah.
It
It was cool. The
multiplayer
was really
stuff.
fun. It was a really unique idea, and it's kind of crazy how they absolutely nailed it on like the first go around, and then they just stopped making it.
I was too poor to pay for online.
Fair.
Rip.
Well, yeah. And I mean, I was just thinking of other Assassin's Creed, like kind of spin-off small project things. And hey, remember Skull and Bones? That's
that was one of the things I mentioned this before we started recording. I mentioned I pre-ordered some at GameStop, and that was one of the big things they want to sign up there in GameStop.
What?
And
they have a sign for Skull and Bones?
I could have pre-ordered it. Wow, you're not tricking me. That game isn't coming out. You won't get me on that one.
That's another one. It's like you had it. You just needed to rip the ship combat out of Black Flag, and you had it.
Mm-hmm.
That was the game. Just make that add more.
Dude, we played it in 2019 or 18 or whatever it was. We played it at E3 with Ubisoft. Yeah. There was a playable game 5 years ago.
That's 5 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Whoops. But also, like, this is Skull and Bones is something that they're making, and they've I think even publicly said a few times that like because that's Ubisoft Singapore, right? And they're making it with
Singaporean
government support.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's like the game's going to come out. I think at this point it has to come out, otherwise they're going to have to incur some kind of financial fucking loss and somehow pay back the Singapore government.
Yeah. You know, I've heard that a lot. How true is that? I've never read into it. I've just heard that sentiment said a bunch. I have no idea. I would be surprised. I mean, I'm sure it is. I know that they have been given money by the Singaporean government to make it.
Right.
Yeah. But I wonder what kind of obligation they are under. I'm assuming they are because the government's going to be like, we're not just going to give money away for free. You know what I mean? Although they do that all the time in the U.S. But
yeah, I mean, I mean, how much of it could be a Ubisoft thing too, right? Because I mean, there's also Beyond Good and Evil 2, right?
That doesn't exist. Shut up.
Jesus Christ.
That game is non-existent.
Yeah. Like honestly, it's a little bit of a miracle that I am 80% sure the Avatar game is going to come out this year.
I mean, we're 2 months away. It's
Yeah.
gotta be coming out now. Like this would be the time they'd announce a delay if they were right.
Right.
And yet we're getting like a
my cousin just got
Division 4.
Yeah. Anyway, very excited. Sorry, I'm watching football at the same time.
He's also watching football. Yeah.
Oh, there's a flag. Fuck you, flag. Don't take it away from him. Sorry.
Should we do a live commentary of the game right now?
No, it's not. I'd be fucking pissed if it's on the Bucks though. God damn it.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. Assassin's Creed. I think it's in this weird place, right? Where I think it's kind of like a victim of its own formula a lot, right? Where I think this is now twice in its life cycle, like as a franchise, where they recognize it's too formulaic, so they change.
Yeah.
It's just maybe it's the unfortunate part of like it used to be like annual releases. Now it's not quite annual, but it's still like they want to keep making more Assassin's Creed games because they're trying to like it's continuously going to make them money, right? But I guess unlike Call of Duty, they can't just make the same game over and over.
Yeah, well, I think that's part of it. That's the challenge of being a single player franchise, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't just necessarily do the same thing over and over again a lot of the times. I mean, obviously there are some like there's form like stuff is the same. Like we mentioned, we were talking about Uncharted before we started recording too. Like those games are more or less the same in terms of the setup and design of the mechanics and whatever. But there's enough new in there, kind of thing. Where not to say that obviously Call of Duty doesn't do anything new, but like that fundamental gameplay, like that once they have that down, that's all you need.
Yeah.
At that point, like they can get away with doing much less. Not to say that they do, because they do some crazy shit. But
yeah,
I think it's less noticeable in those.
Yeah, where I guess like for Call of Duty's like run and gun shooting mechanics, for Assassin's Creed that's the sneaky parkour assassination mechanics, because those are fairly consistent throughout all the games. They feel a little different in like the really big open world ones. For the most part, like the parkouring feels pretty similar in a good way, I think.
Yeah, and I'll never forget the first time doing that. I'm like, this is fucking crazy. I could just wrap this wall. Like
the only improvement that they could somehow have on like the free running and parkour would be if the game was somehow able to tell 100% of the time, no, I mean to go in that window. I don't mean to climb up the wall.
Yeah,
if they get that down, if they figure out
perfection.
how to get intent to be conveyed into the game,
spooky. You're talking about spooky.
That would
AI
be incredible.
You're talking about AI taking us over. I don't like that.
Hey, if the AI can run through the window while I'm stuck here, like holding onto the wall for 5 seconds, sure.
Fair enough. I guess you got a good point.
Yeah. But hey, we're 3 days out from Assassin's Creed Mirage at the time of this publication, or 3 days or so. Yeah. So I think, I mean, there's probably going to be, I mean, at least I know Stretch, you and I are probably going to be picking it up, right? I don't know about Andrew if you will be playing it, but
I want to. It's just time is the problem.
Yeah. But
At
between
some
all
point.
of these other video games coming out, you don't have the time,
dude.
That's
crazy.
Good plug for last week's podcast.
Yeah. There's too many games, too little time.
There's too many games. This year's nuts, dude. And it's not stopping. It's not stop. We're kind of got a bit of a lull, and then Assassin's Creed kickstarts us again into a bunch of shit.
But I'm genuinely excited to run around though in Baghdad and see how the game is. I kind of am not as invested in the story of what I've seen so far. But I think that's just because to me, I've always been more interested in like kind of the history and architecture of these games.
Yeah, I'd be more in the story, the side quest, or the quest that engage with where you are at, not the overarching plot. That's what I'd be more interested in. Of like what's going on in the city, not like some bullshit assassin thing I got to care about. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it harkens back to like that, when you were younger and you played those big open world games and it was just exciting to see the open world. That's kind of what Assassin's Creed is like to me. It's like, what's the world? Yeah, the character of it.
exactly.
Yeah, but
Where are the
before
100 feathers that I need to pick up?
yes, exactly. That's the best part of any Assassin's
Dude,
Creed game for sure.
We were all wrong about everything else. That is the best part.
Yes. Yep.
Some bloodied feathers. Although the best part is the well, I can't even say it now.
Requiescat in pace.
There you go, Requiescat in pace.
Gesundheit.
Thank you.
That's the best part. Those like melodramatic. No, let me die. Let me do this.
Let me lay you to sleep. I just stabbed you, but let me now lay you to rest.
Those are also still in Mirage.
Oh,
Thank
I'm
God.
pumped.
Mhm.
It's like the best part. Like just over dramatic. Like, I'm a professional. This is just business. If you lay them to rest and then you bounce, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Wait. What's the fucking
It's
the
very
assassin's?
Shakespeare.
What's the assassin's motto? Nothing is true. Everything's permitted. Is that?
Something like it's
Or
that's
is there
close.
something else? There's
No,
something
you're
else.
close. If that's it,
No.
that's close. That
It's
should have been one
I
of your
don't-
questions. Let's Google
Yeah,
it.
that should have been one of the questions. What's the assassin's motto? And just like a multiple choice of like 4 really close things.
It is nothing is true, but everything is permitted.
Everything is permitted. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
fucking stupid.
before
How
we
dare you.
sign off, do either of you have any last final thoughts about Assassin's Creed you want to share?
As someone who really enjoys narrative games and like full like narrative between games,
Mhm.
I'm interested to see how they get back onto the future past weird fucking story with Basim.
You are? I'm not.
Yeah. What if
Give
they're
me
like
cool little city stories.
what if the Marvel post-credit scene, Desmond's back, baby.
Oh shit!
He didn't die.
He's wearing a suit.
Well, we've seen him in that weird, like within the machine as a glowing person.
Oh.
So he's technically still around.
What if there's a post-credit scene and you see him putting on a suit and tie, and it pans out as him in the like president's office of Abstergo Industries, as he's looking out his corner office window out of the city.
Or what if, and then here's a twist. What if on his lapel is the Templar's insignia?
Oh,
He's
shit.
a double agent. Oh shit.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
But then there's a shadow that looks like a cowl from an assassin as it fades to black.
Yeah. Well, here's my final thought on Assassin's Creed right now is as cool as the cowl is, while I was setting up the quiz, I think it's where I realized this the most. I really don't remember anyone's faces in Assassin's Creed, like the main characters, because they all just wear the hood, and then that's kind of all you see, and that's their character. They all kind of.
True. I don't know. Well, I mean, Odyssey, you see Cassandra's face all the fuck time.
Yeah, because those are the weird ones where it's like an RPG, so you're kind of
true. That's true.
Yeah. But
That's
yeah,
a good point.
Yeah, that's I think that's a good wrap though on all of our Assassin's Creed thoughts. It's interesting seeing the where it is right now in the industry, and the future of it I think is going to be exciting to see, question mark, whether you're into it or not. I think whatever Assassin's Creed Metaverse, Assassin's Creed Infinity, whatever that becomes is it's gonna be interesting.
Doesn't sound good. It sounds like a desperate move by a desperate company that might be not existing soon. But who knows?
I don't know. Well, I think Avatar is going to save the company.
Well, we bet against Avatar a lot.
Blood Dragon isn't going to bring them out of the pits of despair.
So people are going to realize that's Ubisoft.
I actually do. I want to watch that though. I think it'll be fun.
Looks all right.
Yeah. But I think that is a good place to wrap. It just looks all right on this week's podcast. So we hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, you can let us know by hitting the subscribe button if you haven't already, giving us a rating on whatever podcast platform you're listening on. And if you're on YouTube, let us know in the comments down below. What was your favorite Assassin's Creed game? Like, what's the one you think you have the most memories with, the one you enjoyed the most? Do you prefer like the bigger open world, like RPG style ones, or do you prefer the classic old school kind of focusing on one or two cities kind of style? Let us know in the comments down below. And you can check out more news, reviews, features, etc. from us at techraptor.net. But if you want more of this show, we'll be back in your feed next Monday, and we will see you then.